Okay, Matazeh. Welcome to our weekly Pneumius Adar podcast. It is Parshas Noach, and this is our first opportunity to talk about Chodesh Cheshvan. So we'll try to maybe say a little from Bnei Sascha and Chodesh Cheshvan. Maybe there'll be some sort of connection between Parshas Noach. Hashem is mischasi dimanim to make this come together. Let's start talking about Parshas Noach. And something I noticed in Parshas Noach, and I noticed in Parshas Vayeshev, there are certain people that have a name, and they have some sort of impression that they make Be'enei Hashem, and their name and the impression they make Be'enei Hashem seem to be very much correlated. It's like Noach is Matzachein Be'enei Hashem. Right? So Noach backwards is Chen. He Ra Be'enei Hashem. Was Ra Be'enei Hashem. Okay, so this the gears in my brain start tumbling a little bit. Like, is there anything over here?
But it wasn't him. It wasn't himself, so to speak. No, it's for Lemach Matzachein. No, he's the one that
named him,
right? Chen B'Hashem, whatever Matzachein. So he named them.
Well, Zayin Achamen. We're gonna get to that. That's the end of Parshas Parshas. I'm in Noach now. We'll get to the end of Parshas Parshas soon.
You can't skip the whole sheet.
Okay. But Noach was Matzachein Bein Hashem, and the name Noach is Chen backwards. What's the pshat over here? What is the Indian that when you take a person their name and you look at it backwards, that's Be'enei Hashem. So the biggest side of a person is we don't realize it. We think we're human beings, and we think our name is just a matter of chance that we were named this name. But as we know from the Gemara and Brachas, a name is a lot more than a name. Asher sam shamais ba'aretz. I'll take a shamais el shemais. The shame of a person is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and there's like a nevuah in it, and the Gemara tells us it's Shema Garim. A person's name is Garim, or what his life's going to be. You have to know whether it's what the cause and effect, and because you named this, but Be'emes is, in as much as this is what you are, your name truly represents who you are. Okay, so
why am I not ripped?
Huh?
Why am I not ripped?
Aryeh. So
Levi is evil.
Ivy.
Yuval.
Evil.
So I was thinking like this: that if the name really types up what a person is, right? So what is a person and what's his name? If we
What's in a name?
If we view a name the same as the actual person himself, right? So then first we have to know what a person is. Okay, so what is a person? A person is not a sophisticated animal. A person, or a yid l'chal pachas. Whenever I have these conversations and they start trying to talk about the goyim and automatically the muscle of trying to explain, where they fit into the world. Do goyim get olam haba? So my cuss back as well. Do monkeys get olam haba? Right?
The
What are you saying? Are you saying goyim are animals? Okay, let me qualify that. Do rocks get olam haba? You know what I'm saying? They're created by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They're very good. They're key type. There's an einay mavadei. There's a chiyuv of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in it. What happens to them in olam haba? I have no idea. Right?
Didn't the Kuzari say Damim Tzamach Chai Medaber Goy Yisrael?
Well, Medaber is a guy, but Medaber
Medaber slash guy, I guess.
Yisrael Malach. Right. So that's Be'emes that's what people are not, sophisticated animals. At least Klal Yisrael is not. Klal Yisrael are what? Klal Yisrael, we are Nivra min Olam Hazeh, that have the ability to connect Olam Hazeh with Olam Haba. That's what we are. We're circuits. Klal Yisrael are circuits, and we're given, we're powered by the Torah, and we're powered by our neshamas, el kamimal. But Be'emes is we're one big circuit that is built to make a connection between Shemayim and V'aretz. It's a famous saying from, you have to know which Rebbe says it, but probably been said by hundreds of Rebbes over the years. I don't know who is Mechadish it. It says, Shemayim, Shemayim Hashem. I think I say from maybe Parshas maybe. Shemayim, Shemayim Hashem, V'aretz Nasal Bnei Adam. the heavens are La Hashem and the Aretz is Nasan Livnei Adam. And he says, what's the Hemshech? Shemayim Shemayim Hashem Nasan Livnei Adam. Why is one Tali HaBaha? Shemayim Hashem. Right, the Gemara Sukkah tells us that there are different dinim that we learn from there. But a Shemayim Shemayim La Hashem Nasan Livnei Adam, he touches up. The Hemshech is Kidei La Saisai La Shemayim. Shemayim is Hashem's domain. He gave us Aretz in order what? To make Aretz, to lift it to be Shemayim, to bring it to Bechin of Shemayim. That's what a person is. A person is someone, a yid in this world is nothing more, right, and nothing less, right, than a being that has the ability of connecting Shemayim and Aretz. And this is, we said over many times, that the pasuk is coming up in Parshas Vayetze, Hine Sulam Mutzav Arza Rosh Megia Shemayim. Right, that was Yaakov Avinu himself. Right? This is Klal Yisrael themselves. Right, we our feet are planted in Eilam Hazeh, but be'emes our ikar reish is Magil Hashemayim. Our neshama, right, is be'emes is not shayre, is not really inside our guf, despite the fact that Gemara Baruch says Sham is memalas kol haguf. But be'emes, you have to know what it's referring to. It's referring to ruach nefesh. But we talk about neshama. Neshama is the ikar chelik of our kayach, and this is really lemala mirayshenu. And it's wired straight up to the Kisa covered, and this is what a yid is. Memela, when you understand that your name is not just stam a moniker, right, or just something that just a by chance chosen way of addressing you or defining you or identifying you. Rather, what it is your shame is be'emes you. It mirrors you. That's what a shame is. A shame is a mirror. Be'emes mirrors you. When you look at the Isis Hashem and you want to set them up in a way that mirrors you, you're going to set up the shame also in a way that the shame is mutzav arza, reishai magi hashemayim. So if you write a name with sulam mutzav arza, reish magi hashemayim, you're going to write the beginning of the shame on aretz, and the end of the shame ascends up towards Shemayim. So when you take the name Noach and you write it Nun Ches, so from our perspective, it's looking up, the name is Noach. Bein Hashem, Noach bleibs Chen. And same too with Er and Ra. That was just something that occurred to me a while back. But I think that the idea is it sounds interesting and cute. But I think that what the real point behind it is to recognize is that be'emes we are ourselves, our mitzias, right? The atmis of ourselves, we are literally we span from Aretz to Shemayim, and Mela we're really in Hakadosh Baruch Hu's sights, right? We are literally Hakadosh Baruch Hu focuses right on us, and He has a very direct perspective on us. There isn't some sort of vague. People think there's some sort of vague connection between them and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And if you daven and you really kvetch and you say a very long time and you do this, that, and the other, maybe, you're going to have to make some sort of impression on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because that's when you doubt who you are, what you are. You don't recognize that, no, you don't have to make the connection. The connection is there. You have to exercise that connection. You have to believe in that connection, right? If you don't believe in it, if you're kaif in it, so then of course you're not going to be exercising it. But the moment you recognize the mitzias and the connection that is be'emes there, so then your whole outlook of avodah is differently. So that's really like the avodah of the vart, is that be'emes we're not people in Aretz and sort of we could somehow maybe accomplish something. We are people that be'emes that are literally in the sights of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the way we present ourselves are literally we are be'einei Hashem. Just to bring out this point, I mentioned it before, but it's just like it's something that literally is like something that crossed my mind pretty regularly, and that is, again, what is the goal of us getting together to shmooze? It's really to make our avodas Hashem real, right? People think that my job is real, my relationships is real. My avodas Hashem is something that is just like, I don't know, something we do, but I don't know if we really believe that it's real, right? It's customs. It's cultural, right? We have all these these sort of watered down views of our avodas Hashem, and the goal of all Torah and all avodas is to make it real. So the better the perspective, any perspective that you have from your learning and from your avodas Hashem, and in your learning and in your avodas Hashem, that this is mamish real, and this is what's really real, and everything else is really just some sort of hechsher for this. So then that adds value. That adds the ultimate value to our lives, because we're living. You don't realize where you're living, right? You don't recognize, you never really identify who you are. You're not really living, right? A person thinks that you have a kid and he's playing his video games, and all of a sudden he's alive. He's not living, right? Because his whole chiyus is fantasy. If your whole chiyus is that you go to work and you feel so successful, that you're making so much money, and you're imagining what you could do with all that to satisfy your Olam Hazeh desires, right? You're not living. That's not life. That's not really what you are. You're not exercising your abilities, and you're not exercising your potential. And you're not unlocking all the opportunity that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving us with this tremendous koach that we have. So the story that always brings out this point, and the reason why I think it's just so, I find it like so poignant. Yeah, okay, use that word. It's because the person himself who said over the story, right, was also like a shtickle blown away from something so simple. And that was the Sefer You Got Me, Minchas Yehuda from Yehuda Petaya. We mentioned it. Yehuda Petaya was a Mekubal. He lived in Baghdad. He took over for the Ben Ish Chai. Ben Ish Chai was nifter like in Rish Chaim of Baghdad was nifter like 1910, 1911. He was his Memala Mekaymai, and he ended up moving to Eretz Yisrael in the 1920s maybe. Lived in Machan Yehuda. He was nifter in the 1940s. And he was a Talmid Chacham, Paisik, and a Mekubal, and he spent a lot of time dealing with very esoteric type things, with neshamais, Gilgal neshamais, and ruchais, and he documented it, and he documented his dreams. He had tremendous hasagas of things that you can't imagine. Anyway, he documents the following story that took place. There is this neshama that he's helping with a tikkun. This neshama was a very bad guy in Olam Hazeh, and he's unfortunately in a very bad state. However many years he had been dead already, and he was being beaten for year in, year out by these malachi Kabbalah, and the neshama. However, the neshama got to him. The neshama comes to him, and he's helping him out. He's schmoozing with the neshama. He's doing all sorts of yichudim to purify the neshama. He's learning mishnayos from the neshama, and he can have constant updates with from the neshama how he's doing. Come back to him every night in the dream, whatever it was. And he spent hours. Right. He spent a good part of his day being misaking the neshamas. And he documented. It's just very interesting. If you have the sefer at home, you can buy the same Minchas Yehuda. It's called, and it's on Chumash and it's on Tanakh. But he has in Yeshaya. He has a long 20, 30, 40 pages on these topics. And he writes the following. So he's talking to the neshamas, and the neshamas describing the guard who is with him, the Malach Kabbalah, whatever it is that's with him, and so he asked the Malach Kabbalah if he could talk to him. He asked him if he could ask him some questions. I don't know if the Malach Kabbalah, he was his shomer. He was his guard. Okay, some sort of interesting Malach. These Malach had interesting names. One name was Yosef. They had different names, right? And he asked the Malach Kabbalah if this Malach, this shomer, could he talk to him? The Malach, like who are you? Like what? It's like, you're talking to me, You'd like the Malach, take a look. What do you want from me? I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? You can talk to the neshama, fine, but I have no shayach to Olam Hazeh. We're like, what's Wilson from here? So the Malach like, I have no idea. So he said, asked him. He says, if I ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu if you could talk to me, if I get permission from Hashem to talk to you, will you talk to me? He says, of course. So he says, on the spot, I said the following tefillah: Yiratzon Lefanacha Hashem Elokai. Right, Shetiten Rishus Le Malach, is that whatever we refer to? L'Shem Razeh Nedabri, whatever his lashon is, exactly what he says. And then he says, the moment he finishes tefillah, the Malach says, "Okay, I can talk to you." Right? Meaning, so his observation of it was, he says he was taken aback. He says, the distance from Aretz to the first Shemaim is tough Kuf Shana state, and in order to get to the Kisei Kavod, yet the tefillah has to go up or to Api Chazal 500 years times plus 500 years plus 500 years, and with all that distance, my tefillah made a round trip. Well, the tefillah went all the way up, and the command from HaKadosh Baruch Hu came right down to this malach. And the moment he said, I finished the tefillah, the malach says, okay, I got the okay. So he was so nispal, right? I've already know he knew tefillah works, but he himself was so nispal that it's mamish so instantaneous. And to me, this is just like a very, very enlightening type of concept that that you do something, it is real and powerful and it's immediate, right? And I remember as a as chataya and the askir ayoyim, as a yeshiva bachar, they stay up very late and they tend to get up late, right? And one thing in the morning is that you have to rush for is zman tefillah. Kriya Shema, you can stay in your bed. You can roll over.
Kriya Shema is earlier.
I don't think you can roll over and say Kriya Shema. Okay. So it's better to do all those things. You know what I'm saying?
But at
the end of the day, Shema you can't do in bed. Kriya Shema, you can somehow manage to wash your hands and you say Kriya Shema, it's the first pasuk, you plop back asleep, right? but
I mean, you're what do you call it?
Put your feet together and say Shema Esrei.
No, you consider you're on the derech. You're going to sleep.
So you want to get for Zman Tefillah, right? And why do you want to get for Zman Tefillah? You can down to Chatzais. So take it easy, right? So the Gemara, there's Tefillah Bizmana, and there's Tefillah Shloi Bizmana. Tal Shois is Tefillah Bizmana, and Chatzais is Tefillah Yeshes, Tefillah Bizmana Eimla. You don't have, right? So I remember, and you're laying in bed, and there's hours in this, you think to yourself, I don't know if Hashem listens to my tefillah anyway, so it doesn't matter if he discards my tefillah bizmana versus discarding a tefillah shalei bizmana. That's what I think, it's like, because if it's not real, right, some hechatesi to be my nefesh for something that's not real. But the moment you recognize this is real, right, and this extends to every chelik of Yahweh Hashem, it extends to your learning, this extends to your davening, extends to you walking down the street and determining, do I or don't I, right? Do I look at my Dal Amas or do I look around, right? And if you understand all this is very real and you're front and center of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Olam, so then your avodah becomes much more important, and your dedication is obviously greater. Okay, that is this idea of the Noach Matzachein Bein Hashem. Now I was just thinking, just a cute hemshich on this idea. We lost video, and the sound is coming in and out. You don't get the video
we
back.
got disconnected.
So let's get reconnected.
As long as you can still hear us, at least we'll be okay.
Well, he hears us, but the video's not going on. Do you really have to see Rebbe, or you could look at my picture?
When you want to log out, log back in? Oh, then they're going to have to log back in. It's going to be a whole stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to lose you. No.
Maybe you'll call
I have
in.
to leave in 4 minutes anyway, so it's okay. Unless Pagmai wants to see video. So I'm going to call it a night. I hope everybody has a wonderful night and a good Shabbos. That's Lucha. Do you hear us?
That was a quick 4 minutes, like Rebbe's tefillas.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see video if possible. But
So let me sign out. I'll sign back in. All right.
oh, no problem. I'm logging it from my computer. So,
All right. So let me log out and then I'll re-log in.
Okay.
Is that a word? Re-log in.
Yeah, it is.
It is now.
Start with video. See, this is why the internet's no good. Even with my Zoom classes, all you need is one person to I can't see the video, this and that, and the entire thing is.
It's easy to point fingers at everybody else when it's really your internet that doesn't work.
Okay, so you re-logged in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Burning the laptop.
No, we just have to wait 3 minutes.
What's 3 minutes?
We stopped Rebbe mid-sentence.
Okay, so Mela. Okay, so just like a little hemshech on this
Now I need
idea.
another cookie.
When you picture a person, and as far as the shame being mutav arza, I just thought this just makes an afkamina just in certain things, and that was one example would be as you have different people, and the Torah had ISIS added to their names. Okay.
Yosef, Abraham, Sarah,
Okay.
Yoshua.
Let's leave Yosef for last. Okay, Avram, Sarah, and Yeshua. We'll leave Yosef for last. Okay.
One second, who else? It's just those.
That's
Abraham,
it.
Yosef, Yeshua, Sarah.
Avram, right. So let's do Yeshua. Let's leave Yosef. We'll leave it, but let's talk Avram,
That's okay.
Sarah, and Yeshua. Okay.
Yeshua was temporary. he lost it afterwards.
Okay. I don't.
Also, depending on how you spell it, David had a yud added to his name or something.
Hoshea.
Huh?
Hoshea.
Later on, when Moshe, at the end of the Chumash, Moshe Rabbeinu is mentioning
Oh.
everything. It says again, Hoshea.
Oh, yeah, okay, but the whole Sefer Yeshua is he called Yeshua. Okay, so so you have Isis added on a name. Okay, so you have Avram and Sarah. Let's determine where the Isis added. Are they added at the beginning of the name or the end of the name? Those are your choices. Okay,
Most at the end.
if you add either to the beginning of the name. Avram and Sarah is added on the end, right?
That's where you're leaving Yosef for last.
And Yeshua is added on the beginning, right? Vasepis, right? So it occurred to me, well, let's see who is Maisif. Who is Maisif the ice? Okay, so it'll depend. If the Haisaf of the ice was from someone Ilam Hazeh, what part of the shame is Munach Arza, Mutzav Arza, the beginning of the shame. So Yeshua, who has his name being Nitais Vayde Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe Rabbeinu is his connection to Yeshua is an Ilam Hazeh, Bepashtas. Mela, Haisaf of the ice al Shemai is on the beginning of the name. Masha Ein came when you have Avram and Sarah, who's being Moshe the shame. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Mutzav Rosh Magi Hashemayim Memela. That's why the Haisafas Ha'is is going to be at the end of the name, where is in our what we describe as Be'enei Hashem, right? From Hashem's perspective, that's the makom with this place to build onto the name.
That's what we were saying with the letters going upwards.
Yeah. So what about Yosef? So the shaila is who is Yosef? The hey on Yosef's name, right? The Gemara site that says, right, Yosef Shekir Shem Shemayim B'tzina. Lashon is Haisifu Ice Achas Al Shemai, right? Haisifu Ice Achas Al Shemai. Shenem Edis B'Yosef Samai B'Tzeisai Al Eretz Mitzrayim. The lashon is Haisifu. They were Mosef. It's not, I don't know who's so my shaila was me Haisifai, right?
In the middle.
And not only me Haisifai, what is the hay? The hay that they Mosef the Yais name was Hay Rishayna, right? So I'm not sure who is Mosef the hay, and we can have a whole shmuz about what the hay of Edis B'Yosef, what hay that is. Parshas it's the hay of Yud Kevav.
We did this at one point last week. We did this, the adding of the Shemas.
Oh, we did, yeah.
I don't remember exactly.
Oh yeah, we made right in Pinchas.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Where did that hay come from?
I said, who is my son? I said, Lashon Gemara is Haisifulai Sachas Al Shemai. So I don't know who is they.
The yud from Sarah was taken and broken up into two hays.
We had it last time.
So
I
that's
even the
Sarah-
share from
sorry.
No?
Sorry, Yosef and sorry saying?
No, Avram and Yeshua.
Abraham.
hays.
Well, Sarah got a hay. You're saying Abraham and Sarah.
Right.
No, sorry. He's asking Sarah had a yud, which was broken up into two. Where did the yud go?
The Yud went to Yeshua, right?
But
The
it
Yud
doesn't
went to
answer
Yeshua,
Yosef.
yeah. You went to Yeshua, yeah.
And the other
Right,
one
so
was
where did the hay
Yosef?
come from? Yosef, yeah.
It doesn't
So
answer.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. You're
Right.
saying, so I'm giving you a
not
thesis
just
over here.
Who gave it? But
So-
where did it come from?
Right, in Echanami. If everything needs to have a place, yeah. Okay, so I'm not sure who's Haisi. But anyway, that was just on the building blocks of names, right? If you make your names into building blocks, and the Haisaf is going to be Kafi, is it HaKadosh Baruch Hu, or is it someone in Olam Hazeh?
So we're saying it's on Lazar because
Huh?
it's the beginning of the name.
No, but that's the thing with Yosef. It's in the middle.
Now,
It's not in the beginning or the end.
Towards the beginning.
now, well,
What happens if someone's named after an Amaretz? Someone's named after an Amaretz.
he better learn a lot of Torah.
Okay, Alexander.
No, but so what would they be in love? Because does that indicate
indicate that they're going to be it, or does that indicate that they?
Nothing.
have
I'm not talking.
You have Tanai Rabbi Yishmael.
I'm not making any mention of who the name is
It's
being
not
named
gonna
after.
be
I'm just
mine,
talking
that's
about the
for sure.
name. You know what I'm saying? So the name, and whose name is being commemorated may not be connected. The name is the name. It has a certain character. And then is there some sort of connection to the person being named after that you have to know? You know what I'm saying? The Rabbi Yehuda Pataya and Minchas Yehuda warns extensively about naming after people that are not the best people. But there are those that say, I mean, the name after us not really has anything to do with that person. The name's the name. You know what I'm saying? If I name a person Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm thinking about whatever. You know, the great uncle, the great uncle Altafata Moshe. Okay, so there's some sort of commemoration, but there's no real connection, right? In Minchas Yehuda, and you'll find that there is.
Yeah, people named Shapsi.
You have.
You know? Yeah, people named Shapsai.
So Mela, that is the Okay, let's just talk about a little bit about the Shem of Hakadosh Baruch Hu and apply this inyan of
The hay
building blocks.
The hay in Avram was added second to last letter,
Yeah, I
and
know.
we attribute that to
Hashem.
coming up from up there. So if it's the
Yosef
hay
is
from
the
Yosef
second
is
to
the
the
second, the
first.
front letter,
Oh.
so attribute it to down here.
That's what I say, but I don't know who it was. It says Haisifu, but the lashon of Haisifu today is mashma.
It's multiple
No,
plural.
Abraham we know for sure it was.
Right, that's
first,
it.
and
And
then-
the Mash says Haisifu, right? I think the lashon. I believe it's Haisifu.
If it was at the end, then you would have an issue because it's Haisifu.
Right. I believe the lashon is Haisifu. That's the lashon of the Gemara.
So
Um,
could it be his brothers? Where's that poster that says Yosef?
It's in Tehillim.
So David Melech added it.
Dabin Mechaber Tehillim.
Not tonight.
Okay. The
Ask for a friend.
the
It's okay.
let's view Hashem. This is a shtickle we spoke about in the past, but it's negay over here, and we'll have maybe Davashin is Chadash Bo. The Shem Hashem also, if you picture it as a sulam, that is
Utzaf Shamayim.
Musa Shemaim of Rosh Magia Ad La'aretz. Like ultimately, that's what Hashem is.
Esther,
Hashem
no?
is the mashpia. We're mashpia mamata lamala. Kadosh Baruch Hu mashpia is mishpashpia mamala lamata. So if you picture Shem Hashem in the same form as we're picturing Shemus Bnei Adam, so Yud Kei Vav Kei would also have this quality, okay, which would mean that when we are male when we are male hashpois l'mayla with our davening and our mitzvahs and our learning, we are going up the ladder, starting from He'achroina, which is He'achroina is known as Zashar La Hashem Tzadikim Yavoy, right? Ashar is a Tara B'lashon Aramis. Tara Tafresh Ayin Aleph is the miloi of Shem Aleph Dalet. Okay, if you take Shem Aleph Dalet, Aleph and the Dalet and the Nun and Yud, write it out. Aleph Lamed Fei, Dalet Lamed Taf. You add it all up, 111. It's 434. Nun is 106. Yud is another 20, right? You add that all up, you get to 671. Tara, which is a shar. We just had it in 8 of it, right? So that's what the pasuk says. Zah shar la Hashem tzadikim yavay, right? That is, or Hashem sefasai tiftach ufi yageti losecha. Right? The Indian is that's a shar. You enter into Hashem's world, right? And that's He'achroina, okay? Because He'achroina is Aleph Dalet, it's Malchus, right? The He'achroina is mentioned many times. The He'achroina of Yud Vavke is Midas HaMalchus, which is Shem of Aleph Dalet, which is Din. Aleph
Up
Dalet,
or down?
that's down. That's because you start Yud
So
starts
Shin.
Kadosh Baruch Hu. What?
Oh, I hear.
Yud starts. You have to go straight up. That's the first step. You get into the right. The lashon the Gemara Menachos tells us, right, that why is the hay pasuach on the bottom, right, and it's pasuach on the side, right? Because kedei litain makam l'bal tshuva likanis, right? And you need 2 doorways. You have to either give you two. We give you two ways to get in. Okay, meaning if you think about that, it's obviously it's a machshava. You know, you're not actually climbing into any hay, but in your machshava, you have to recognize you connect HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the shar is open. Now, is it open? There's an extra door in case you're afraid to go in.
So basically,
Through the trap door.
you have a small opening, and then once you go in there, Hashem can open it like the bottom of the hand, which is it.
Okay. So the I wonder what the Eniklach will say when they hear that one.
What?
What your Eniklach are going to say when they hear that one. So. אני שמעתי מהסבא כשהוא גר בחבר כאן.
Eretz HaTuah.
Okay. So Melazeh. So that's the way we relate to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have to go through He'achroina. What is a Vav? A Vav is a Vav Achiber, right? A Vav is Mechaber He'achroina to He'rishayna, right? Once you go up to He'rishayna, which is right, which is Chuvi Law, which is Ilam Abina, right? From there you go straight up all the way to Yud, and you connect to Mamish. Klal Yisrael has the ability to Mamish be Aimif now Kadosh Baruch Hu, and you can't even imagine the madregas that we affect up to, because that's what we are. Okay, so Klal Yisrael's connection to Kadosh Baruch Hu, in as much that we connect to Kadosh Baruch Hu, is Ashar La Hashem Tzadikim Vayivayis through Shem Yud Kei Vav. Okay, so maybe we're going through, start from Hey, and we go up. Okay, when you cheshbon this ice, right? So when you make the Shem Hashem like this and you make it into Madrega, so it ends up looking like the what's known as Ribua. Okay, it looks like stairs, right? Make it a stair. Let's just expand it. Make it Ribua. Yeah, Ribua. Well, I'm going to picture you as stairs, right? The He'achroina is be'emes and compilation of. Well, let's do it. You're going the opposite way. Hey Rishon is the first step, right? So it's a hey. You get to the second step, right? The second step, which is Vav, is also Kal the hey, right? Because whatever below is above, right? So you have the hey, right? You get to the next step is K Vav. You get to the next step is K Vav K. And you get up to the next step, it's K Vav K Yud, and you're at the top. Okay. Yeah. So now, when you have these steps going up, that is the full gamut. That is the full flight of stairs up to the top. Okay.
What's the Ribua?
That's called Ribua. When you take like nach, that's called.
Oh,
Ribua.
Not actually like a square.
No.
That's
called.
Like a square stair.
It's called in the Kabbalah's form. It's Ribua, or it's called Achirayim. So that is the way we move up. If you add up all those letters, right? You add up all those letters, right? What do you get to? What does that add up to?
26.
K, 5. K Vav is 11, 16. K Vav K, another 16, is 32. 32 plus 26 is 58. Okay?
So you were just doing the gematria of the Ribua?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Get to 58.
Okay.
What's 58 big gematria?
No.
Noach and Chaim. Okay?
Didn't we have this
What?
by Esther? We were saying that she was thinking matzah.
You mentioned this before. It's not the first time I'm mentioning it, but I can't not ever repeat something. Especially when it fits in, and I'm not even prepared. So,
You're never prepared.
okay, so you have, so that is, we mentioned this from the Imrei Noyam, right? This is what's known as, Klal Yisrael is Malachain, okay? We're Malachain, right? Noach is Motzachain, because this is what Noach Savayda does. It makes this trip, okay? He's Motzachain, okay? When Klal Yisrael is Motzachain, what is HaKadosh Baruch Hu's response to Chain?
No.
Chesed. Chain v'chesed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's response.
Oh.
Right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu's response is Chesed. Okay? We're Malach. Chain, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is married Chesed.
It's going down. It's Yud.
When you go down, so it's Yud. It's the same thing. Yud K Vav, K Vav K. You add it up that way, it's big gematria 72, which is a gematria of Chesed.
Why would it add up a different number?
Because you're counting the Yud 4 times instead of counting the Hey 4 times.
So like,
Yeah.
but going upwards, it's K Vav K that spells cookie.
Okay.
Chananya ben kasher.
I think you're a little kooky. Okay, Mela, that's Noach's avodah. Okay, Noach is motzachein because he's malachein. When you're malachein, when you're malachein, the Kadosh Baruch Hu is mashpiach chesed. Comes along. Moshe Rabbeinu, okay, and Moshe Rabbeinu has a different midah, right? He's not malachein, he's mala something else. Again, just to introduce what I'm going to say, the famous medrash in this week's parsha. The Gemara says, "Golden Masha Nemar be Moshe, Masha Nemar be Noach." Okay, it's Gemara medrash. It contrasts Moshe and Noach. Right, Moshe starts off Ish Mitzri, and he ends up at the end of his life, he's Ish Elikim. Noach, it starts off as Ish Tzaddik, and he ends up at the end of Parsha Ish Adama. Okay, Shenemar Vayochel Noach Ish Ha'adama. Okay, so I was thinking as Noach was Malachein, right? Moshe Rabbeinu, we find he had a different avodah, right? The Gemara tells us this. We spoke to that once upon a time. It's in the archive someplace. But we have Eschan al Hashem and have Vayichal Moshe. The Gemara at the end of the fourth parak, V'spal v'chayz v'spal, he starts lahaptim not she yischayni daitai v'ad she yischal daitai. Right? There's Indian Shem Eschan al Hashem and Shem Vayichal Moshe. Right? So Moshe Rabbeinu has this Indian of chal, of Vayichal, instead of his Eschan is chen. Be malachin, but he also has this Indian of Yisrael of Vayichal. Why is Moshe Rabbeinu's bechina called Vayichal? Because Moshe Rabbeinu, once he went up to Sinai, Moshe Rabbeinu's bechina is always Moshe Rabbeinu's bashamayim. He never left the Shemayim because the pasuk says V'ata poi amoidi modi. You say it with me. So Moshe Rabbeinu's bechina is always bashamayim, which is vav of Shemaim Aretz. Shemaim is Vav. Hey is Aretz. So Moshe Rabbeinu Halzich, his existence is in Vav. If Moshe Rabbeinu's existence is in Vav, right? So when he does his avodah, he's not starting from the bottom. Where does he start from? Starts from Vav. So his trip is going to be Vav, Vav K Yud. Right? Ask him?
Which is how much?
Why?
Because Moshe Rabbeinu is in Shemayim. He's not in Aretz. The Bechin of Shemayim is not Olam Hazeh, which is Hey Achrein, which is the last Hey. Shemayim is Vav, right?
He went up to Har Sinai, that became the new threshold.
And he was in Shemayim, and he stayed in Shemayim. Right, that's Vav. So Moshe Rabbeinu, when he's doing his avodah to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he's davening to HaKadosh Baruch Hu from Har Sinai for Klal Yisrael, right? He's holding by Vav. What are his steps? Vav K,
Yeah.
Yud.
Okay.
Add that up.
Just about
Vav K, 38. Chal. Okay? So that's why Moshe is Vayichal. Okay? Noach, what's Noach? Noach is Matzachein. He doesn't have the ability of being Chal. Okay? So, what was Noach's big tois when Vayesh min hayayin, Vayishkar in this week's parsha? Noach knew he had some sort of connection, overlap with Moshe Rabbeinu. And Eric gemeint that he could reach that madrega. Right? And he was shooting for a Vayichal. But he wasn't holding there. He was be'emes, he was an artistic dimension, he was Isha Adama. So when he attempted to Vayishkar B'soicha Haloi, right? What was his avodah? Vayochel Noach Isha Adama. Noach was trying to do a Vayichal, but it didn't work out. It was Isha Adama, and it ended up being his undoing. Okay? So yeah, by Moshe Vayichal, Moshe describes it as a Gavaldik Madrega. Noach's attempt is, at least what I want to say, Noach's attempt, because what is yain? We just had the Gemara in Erevin, right? Yain is something you drink it. Rab Nachman says it gives him tzilul sadas. Yain hat to tamid das. Yain hat to tamid side. Nechlas yain hat to side. Right? Yain is das that came from Noichim and it's in from das. Moshe Rabbeinu is begin of das of Klal Yisrael. So Noach held he's ready to enter into Moshe Rabbeinu's madrega. Noach, du bist Noach, du bist nicht Moshe. When you try overshooting where you're meant to be, instead of Vayichal, it ends up being Vayochel.
Wasn't Moshe They say
Vayachal Noach ish Adam, what?
they say that Moshe was a.
There's an overlap in Noach. Yeah, I'm saying there's an overlap, right? But Noach remains ish
That's the
ba'aretz,
target.
right? And trying to disconnect from there to someplace else and try to do a different avodah ends up unraveling, and he ends up ishadama, and ends up ishkar b'saych time. Anyway, but just a final ice sphere, right? So Noach and Chain are mamish the zalbazach. It's not that Noach was gradamot to Chain. Noach, als Noach is Chain, right? Mitzad his shame is shame in Noach. Zok the Begal Amukas in the beginning of the 6th parsha. Noach matzah Chain bein Hashem. The Gemara tells us there's shalish chinas Chain. There's three Chains. There's Chain mekaymai al yoshveha. People feel connected to the place where they live. Chain isha baila. Chain mekach al mikchay. Right, the chain that a wife has to a husband, and the chain that when you buy something, I don't look, I need shoes, right? Chain mekach al mikchay. Comes along the Megal Mukha says this is the beginning of Noach. He had all these three chains, and what is the pnimis of all these three chains? Chain makaym al yoshveha is makom HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? He had the chain of HaKadosh Baruch Hu on himself, meaning he wasn't Oved Avodah Zarah. Masha Enkin, the rest of the Dharma, they were being Oved Avodah Zarah. Chain Isha Baila, he was Tavik B'Ishtay. Masha Enkin, them, they're Megal Arayas. And Chain Mekach al Mekchay, right, is the Gezel. Right, he appreciated the chain of people's possessions, and Mela he wasn't involved in Gezel. Okay. So he says, it makes the following statement. Noach was called Noach. Why? Because he was Matzachein B'nei Hashem.
He had all the chains.
He had all the chains. So the reason why he was called Noach was because he was Matzachein B'nei Hashem. That's why he's called Noach. Why? What do you mean? It's backward. Teretz is, like I said, it's two different perspectives. The pasuk says, "Vayikra Shmoi Noach Leimar Zeh Yinachamenu Mimaasenu Mitzvin Yadeinu." Right. So what's going on? In Zok Rashi, right? Yinachamenu is not Miloshin Noach. Yinachamenu is in fact Rashi. If it's Yinachamenu, it's Loshin Nechama. His name should have been Nachum or Menachem. Zok Rashi that no Zeh Yinachamenu is Yanuach Lanu, right? And Mela they called him Noach. Okay. So it wasn't Asachain. It was Zeh Yanuach Lanu. That's how Rashi learns. Zok the Megal Mukha's name. His name was Noach, his Matzachein, right? Vayikra Shmo Noach Lamar. The Ramabel called him Noach. Say, oh, his name is Noach. It's Al Zeh Nachameh. He gave us the plow, right? He made life easier for us, right? Because they wanted to deny that there's such a musig that a person in Olam Hazeh can be Matzachein Bein Hashem. This is their whole denial. They weren't interested. They denied. They lived in total denial of this ability to be Matzachein Bein Hashem. When they saw Noach, and Noach is be'etzem a Matzachein, they had to take up Noach differently. No, Noach's not Noach because he's a Matzachein. There's no such thing as Chain, right? Noach is Zeh Yinachamenu. So it's only the Dar Hamabel said Lamar he is Zeh Yinachamenu Mimaasenu Mitzvin Yadeinu. Masha Enkin be'emes like Megal Mukha. His name Noach was and so really they should have called it and they're upgeschlagt Taki says, because if that's Taka the Taich, his name should have been Menachem. His name should have been Nachum. As he said, Rashi's Kasha. They were Taka wrong.
Right? Proof that they're wrong.
Right, they're wrong. But they didn't want to change the whole way of life because of a Kasha. Right? Right? But Be'emes, his name is Noach because of his Matzachein Bein Hashem. As I said, Megal because it's
Shkaya.